Hi, it's Mrs. LP here. Today we are learning to understand an algebraic equation. Specifically, we are learning to demonstrate that understanding by creating an algebraic equation by looking at a word problem. So if you're watching this video, it will be because you answered most of the questions up to this question correctly, but you needed a bit of help with this question where you had word problems, then you had to select the equation that went with the word problem. So that should be the thing that you need help with, and that's what this video is going to do. We are going to today look at some word problems and create equations to go with them. So the first one is a fairly easy one to start with. Joan is baking a cake. The recipe calls for 7 cups of flour. She's already put in 3 cups. How many more cups does she need to add? So what is our unknown? Our unknown is the number of cups to add, right? And then we've got 7 cups and we've got 3 cups already added. So next we just come up with an equation to find the relationship between these 3. Well, we know that 3 is the number she's added, and n is how many is left, and therefore 3 plus n equals 7. Or the other way to look at that might be 7 minus 3. So the number of cups that she needs to add altogether minus the number of cups that she needs to add altogether minus the number of cups already added equals n. So either 3 plus the unknown equals 7, or 7 minus 3 equals the unknown. That hopefully will make sense to you. And if it does, then let's move on to the next question. So this question is asking you to do a different thing with the numbers. It is not an adding and subtracting one. So let's have a look at this. Again, what is the unknown? The unknown is how many cartridges you can buy. Okay. And if 1 cartridge costs $15, that's one of the numbers, and 120 is the other number. So we've got n, 15, and 120. How do we find the relationship between them? Okay, well, I think if you look at this, you will be able to work out that to figure it out, you need to divide 120 by 15. So you could do 120 over 15 equals n. And that's pretty much it. Or 120 over n equals 15. So it's up to you what you want to do there. If it's a multiple choice question, then you just look for the one that fits with. So that's, again, a nice and easy one. Let's have a look at the next one. So I put this question in because it has some information that's not useful. And this is the thing with word problems, is that you need to actually read it and figure out what it's asking. So Jason found 78 seashells and 35 starfishes on the beach. He gave Mike some of his seashells. He has 32 seashells left. Okay, how many seashells did he give? So this is a question about seashells. So what's the number that's totally useless? The 25. We don't need to hear about the 25. So we're just going to ignore that. So the numbers we're dealing with are 78, 32, and n, the unknown. So the unknown is how many seashells did he give to Mike. So, well, he had 78 to start with. Then he got rid of 32. And the final answer is n. So with this one, it's actually, again, quite a simple question. But the thing to remember is when you're doing a word problem, to really think about what it's asking and be aware that not all the numbers given to you might be useful. One thing that people might do is get confused and go, okay, so where does the 35 fit? Well, it doesn't actually fit at all because it's not part of the question. You can just ignore it. Okay, next one. This is what we call a two-step word problem because Fred spent half of his allowance going to the movies, and then he washed the family car and earned $8, and then he ended up with $16. So first of all, he spent some of his money, then he made some, and then ended with 16. So this is a two-step question where all the numbers are actually relevant. So what do we have here? So half, we need something that is divided by 2. Okay. Half. We have 8. So we need to, at some point, add 8. And we ended up with 16. So, and the unknown is N. Okay, so N is his weekly allowance. All right, so those are the things. I've looked at this question and I've figured out what needs to go into this equation. Half, so divide by 2, plus 8, and end up with 16. So let's have a go at this. N is the unknown, divided by 2, plus 8 equals 16. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you. If you just look at this question, it might be a little confusing, but what you should do is just read through the whole thing and figure out what each of the steps means, and then you can put it together in an equation. So let's have a go at another two-step problem. Okay. 519 students went on a trip to the zoo. 9 buses were filled. 6 students still had to travel in cars. How many students were in each bus? So let's say N is the unknown, the number of students in each bus. 519 is the total. 9 is what you're dividing it by or timesing it by, and 6 is what's left over. So the equation would be N times 9. So the number of students in each bus times 9 buses plus 6 equals 519. So hopefully that makes sense. So N, number of students in each bus, times 9 buses plus 6 equals 519. You can also turn this around another way. I'll have to write for this one because you can't really type it out. But you could do, so that would also mean the same thing. 519, if you took away 6 that were in cars, then divided it by 9, then you would get N. So there's 2 different ways that you could do that equation. Final one we're going to do together. Mike bought 6 new baseball trading cards. Next day, his dog ate half of his collection. So we've got 6. Then we've got half, or divided by 2. We've got 39, and we've got the unknown N. So we could say, well, N plus 6. Oh, I think I have to do this with pencil again. So one way you could do it is N plus 6 over 2 equals 39. So N is the unknown, the number that he had to start with. Then he added 6 to it. Then the whole thing got divided by 2, and now it's 39. And there are other ways that you could do this as well. So for example, you could do 39 times 2 minus 6 equals N. So you could do, put that on the bottom, 39 times 2. So now we're back to his full collection before the dog ate it. And then minus 6, so that's taking it back to before he bought the card, equals n. So that's another way that you could do it as well. Okay. So have a go at doing these practice questions, write down the answers so that you're ready to mark them when you get to the clinic.